Peter, we're here at the BuddeComm Research Conference, and you spoke about Africa, and in particularly about Somalia, a country without a functioning government, without taxes, without regulations. In the eyes of many Western entrepreneurs, this must be an ideal world.
That's right, Paul. We've been looking at Somalia in research as an example of a so-called failed state. In fact, probably the most failed state in the world, according to, by the way, a kind of official ranking list that exists, the Failed State Index ranking that is published annually by the Washington Post and Newsweek. And Somalia has topped that list for a number of years in a number of categories. It's true that there hasn't been a functioning central government in the country for almost 20 years, since in 1991 a military dictatorship was toppled. And since then, rivaling clans have been fighting for power and dominance. Public services such as security, education have deteriorated, and yet it is surprising and amazing to see how relatively well the telecommunications industry has done under these worst possible circumstances that you can imagine. With no government and no regulation of the industry, total free enterprise has unfolded. Very healthy competition has unfolded between 7 operators, telecommunications operators, all of whom do everything. They do mobile, fixed line and internet services with no restrictions, no licensing. As you mentioned, Paul, there are no taxes, no central government to collect taxes. And as you say, while that at first glance may look like a very attractive business environment, one has to be careful though when looking at it. Of course, businesses in the country do pay taxes in one way or the other, or they have costs that businesses in more functioning economies do not have. For example, the telecommunications businesses in Somalia are looking at 30% of their total cost base being spent on security. Private security firms providing security for their staff, their equipment, transport, and so on. So huge cost burdens as well that come along with this. Having said that, the market is reasonably mature with 20% mobile penetration, growing at 50% per year. This is below the African average. Africa as a whole, on average, is approaching 50% mobile penetration. So Somalia, once the environment improves, is a highly attractive market for investors, equipment manufacturers, service providers in the telecommunications industry.
Thank you very much, Peter.